Welcome to another edition of Office Hours with State Representative John Hampton. I am John Hampton. I'm thrilled that you joined me today, but I'm here not only as Simsbury State Representative, but a proud graduate, 1980, of St. Mary's School, and it's hard to believe that St. Mary's School is celebrating its 60th anniversary in Simsbury. What a gift to the community. I'm so proud to be a product of that school, and I'm delighted to welcome many guests to my show today. But for starters, we're going to welcome Principal Margie Williamson. Hi,
John. How are you?
Thanks so much for being on my show. Thank you for your leadership of my alma mater. And you are now in your second year?
Second year.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to Catholic education.
Well, I came to Catholic education when I was 6 years old, starting in grade school myself in New Milford, Connecticut, and all the way through college and graduate school. So it was natural that my teaching career would lead me to Catholic school in New York City for a year, and then I came to the Archdiocese of Hartford after I got married. So I was 9 years in Waterbury at Notre Dame Academy, and then 29 years at Northwest Catholic High School.
You know, another proud alum, class of '84, and
right.
You took such great care of Northwest Catholic.
Yeah, and now I'm in my second year at the elementary school level.
Great. How are you finding St. Mary's?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Something new every day.
Now, 60 years, a lot has changed. Talk to us about the history. Of course, I know the great history, but why don't you give us a sketch of where we've come so far and how we started?
Well, considering the school started with just a few grades, it's really come a long way.
Yep.
It's had many iterations in the building. We've added on many times and added the grades. So they were very intentional, however, when they planned the curriculum all the way through. So there's a very definite middle school curriculum as opposed to the elementary grades, which prepares the students for rigorous middle school curriculum. So I think that's one of the most important things, that they've really been very careful to build the school so it's not just there, it has a real purpose.
So now it has pre-K and K.
Pre-K to 8, yes.
Okay, because it didn't have K, I don't believe, when I was there. And I was at a time when I think the nuns had just left. It used to be,
right.
Was it Sisters of...
The Felician Sisters were there, yes.
Okay,
yes.
And they helped start it.
Yes, and they, you know, as they went on to other things and lay teachers came in, obviously they had to take over the importance of teaching the Catholic faith, and they had to be trained in that,
Sure.
and they are trained in that, so it's great, and it's an opportunity for the laity really to carry on the mission of the church through the school.
Well, my niece and nephew are there, and the great tradition of excellence continues there at a faith-based community, and the teachers are stellar. Tell us how things have changed from my day. In addition to being, it used to be two buildings, separate buildings.
Right.
Now they're
That's
connected.
Right, yeah.
And we used to eat lunch at our desk and walk up to Central School for gym. And it's so great to see a Catholic school thriving in this day and age.
Yes. Well, when you were there, you used pens and probably fountain pens.
Yes. Right.
And pencils. And pencils and paper.
Yes.
And we still use those, maybe not fountain pens, but ballpoint pens. And we still use those things, but we also have broadened out to the things that are important in today's world, the technology, because the children need to learn how to use those things, and they need to learn how to use them properly, ethically, and morally. So although all of our children have iPads from K to 8, they are taught how to use them properly, and they use them for a lot of things, not just research, but they use them for class activities, lessons. They have access to the news, to current events. We even have a few textbooks that have online components, several textbooks with online components. So they're really learning how to integrate technology into what they're doing in the classroom. And the teachers, through the iPads and through the smart boards and the projectors and everything, are able to maximize the use of technology.
In classrooms in St. Mary's seem to be more kind of students looking at each other,
yes.
and the teachers all kind of interactive, as opposed to the old days where you were in straight lines
right.
looking at the blackboard. Those
Very
days
true.
are gone, right?
Because one of the most important things they need to learn today is collaborative
Sure.
work. And so they need to learn to work in teams. They need to learn how to get along with people. And when you're in rows, that is not the goal.
No.
So you will find that lots of times the classrooms are in small groups. Those groups will change You know, every month the teacher might change the arrangement of the desks. We even have one classroom, our first grade classroom, which has very few desks. The children have different options for where they would like to sit and do their work. They might sit in a rocking chair or on a sofa, or they might stand, depending on their learning style. So there's a lot of thought that goes into that. We have the desks, but they're very different arrangements than they used to be.
So what types of classes might surprise us that are happening now at St. Mary's that, you know, wasn't there 30, 40 years ago?
Well, certainly in the middle school, you're going to find that almost every 8th grader is now taking high school algebra, which probably was not the case when you were there, but has come into play more recently. But the fact that almost all of them are taking it, whether or not they're going to skip 9th grade algebra, is really important because they need to be pushed. And I think that's an important piece of St. Mary's School, that the rigor is there, that we challenge the students to be a little more than they think they can be. And one of the other major things that we've added this year, actually, is coding. So we got brand new iPads this year. So the other ones were 5 years old. It was time for new ones. So when we brought in the new iPads, we brought in computer coding. That's computer programming is now called coding. So the children from kindergarten through grade 5 are programming with little robots, Dot and Dash, and they love it. And then grade 6 and 7 are using Swift Playground, which is an Apple product, and they're working on their coding. So,
oh my God, I'm already getting anxious because I was an English major, and I'm going to learn. We're going to learn more about this and show people at home, which is great because. Gosh, we've come so far in terms of technology, and the younger ones starting so young.
And they're not afraid of it.
But they're not.
No, not at all.
No anxiety whatsoever. Nope. And I have trouble with my own just cell phone, so maybe somebody can teach me that from St. Mary's. Now, in the old days, they had 2 priests at St. Mary's, and one managed the school, in essence, and one managed the church. I know Father Matera is very busy. He's a great leader of the church. Is he involved with the leadership of the school as well?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Absolutely. He and I meet regularly, but more importantly, he comes over to the school for morning prayer several times a week.
Still morning prayer?
Oh, yes, still
Wonderful.
Morning prayer. Everybody gathers for morning prayer. And he comes and greets the students. They greet him. It's really a high point of his day. And very often, he will come at the end of the day as well, when they're getting ready to leave, and be around for the carpool pickup and such, and just talk to the children, and they'll tell him all kinds of fun things. He loves it.
You know, one of the things I learned at St. Mary's was standing up when somebody comes into the room.
Oh, yes.
Do you still do that?
For certain people.
Okay.
So for
I
father
told my nieces
or
and nephews up.
But I don't ask them to stand when I come in the room because I don't want to interrupt their learning. A lot of times I'm in there for other reasons. And they'll look up, but no, they don't stand for me, but they'll stand for more important people.
But yeah, you learn at St. Mary's how to really interact with people. I learned great communication skills, great writing skills. I laugh because math was my challenge. But of course, Mrs. Silva, who did not leave too long ago, gave me great preparation. I had 6 siblings, as you know. Most of my siblings went through St. Mary's, and those of us who had the Catholic-based faith-based education really treasured that that experience. Tell us about Come Grow With Us.
Well, Come Grow With Us is important because we would love to invite more families to be a part of the St. Mary's family and the St. Mary's experience. But the grow can be interpreted in other ways as well, because as children are going through the grades, they are growing as people. And by the time they get to 8th grade, they are bordering on young adults, and we want them to have experienced lots of things that help them to be that complete person. It might be learning how to take care and help younger children. It might be learning how to study and be responsible for their work. So their growth is going to be in many ways, but we also would love to have more families come and experience St. Mary's. Sometimes we're sort of the forgotten best secret in Simsbury.
Sure.
People drive by probably 6, 7 times a day and hardly even realize our building is there.
Well, you are such, and we're going to talk more later, you are such an integral part of the Simsbury community, but beyond. You give so much through social service programs, community support programs, and outreach. And so why would a potential parent watching this show want to come to St. Mary's as opposed to the public schools, which are great in Simsbury.
Oh, public schools are perfectly
wonderful.
fine. I think that if you're looking for a community where your child is going to be raised by the family, the village, if you will, that's what you're going to find at St. Mary's, because all the teachers know who the children are. We can greet them by name. We say goodbye to them in the afternoon. You know, it's that kind of thing. So they know that they are known as people. And if a parent is watching this and they would like to really feel that they are part of the community as well, that their presence is valued, that they can become involved in the school, St. Mary's is the place for that. But they're also going to be among like-minded parents. So they don't have to wonder. They can pretty much count on the fact that if somebody has their child at St. Mary's, they value the same things that you do, that they're going to help teach the morals and the ethics in the same way that you would. So I think that's important. But if you're going to want to couple that with an excellent elementary and middle school education, it's the whole package. So you get it all in one place.
It is. And it's great to see that feeling of community and support that I know my sister feels as a parent now of children, that it's the same that my parents felt, that their children were well cared for, well prepared, a sense of community, great values, and faith-based is such a gift. Tell me a little bit about the Campus Connection.
Campus Connection is the name of the project that will build a new wing for the church or the school, depending on how you look at it. But it's going to be a nice 2-story wing that will connect the school building and the church. And it's going to allow the parish offices to come back across Route 10, which is lovely.
Oh, good.
But it will also allow us to take down the portable buildings that were put up a few years ago that are in our north parking lot for our music and art room and library. And we'll be able to house those subjects in the Parish Connection. So it's going to be the 2-story. So we'll have library and art on the 2nd story. And then there'll be another smaller parish center on the 1st floor, where our band can meet and practice, where we could do other activities if necessary during the school day. We'll also have an additional tutoring space. Because we're able to now identify students that might need a little extra help, and we differentiate the learning, we do need a little more space for some individual lessons and tutoring that happens. So we're lucky we're going to get a spot for that too.
That's terrific. Now folks can visit St. Mary's website, which is?
St. Mary's School Simsbury.org.
Excellent. And they could also come for tours, correct?
Absolutely.
You have I know you publicize open houses.
Yes, we're going to have walk-in Wednesdays on every Wednesday in January. In addition to that, we have an open house on Sunday, January 28th.
Excellent.
It's the Sunday before the Super Bowl. Okay. So we hope that people will be having football withdrawal, and they can come and check out St. Mary's School.
And can they also come to the holiday performances?
Oh, sure. We have our band concert, but those are right now. So on December 11th, we have our band concert, and we have our lessons and carols on the 18th.
Carols are beautiful.
Yep.
And St. Mary's is such a beautiful church. Who is this gentleman right here?
Well, this is our knight, and
we are the St. SMS Knights.
We are the Knights, and so this is our representative of the mascot, and the 3rd grade named him Ted. We had a vote and everything, so it is Sir Ted, and he's a person or knight that we can use to help promote our school.
Excellent.
And we also have a kind of a Did You Know campaign as well. So, did you know we have open house coming? Did you know how successful our spelling bee students were last year? Anything like that. We're trying to promote the great things about St. Mary's School.
Yeah, and did you know how amazing St. Mary's is? And did you know that they've been here 60 years and continue to be just an incredible gift to our community? And for folks watching at home, considering sending their children to St. Mary's, I can't recommend it highly and more highly. And also, please support St. Mary's through individual giving, plan giving, any giving, volunteering, and supporting the institution. It's well worthwhile. So we're going to move on to another segment. I think we're going to learn a little more about academics. I'm excited to learn more about coding. Oh my gosh. But thank you so much for all that you do and your great leadership of my alma mater. So excited to have you.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you.
I'm so excited to continue my conversation with folks from St. Mary's School as they celebrate 60 amazing years in our community, and I am a proud alum, and I'm so thrilled to welcome Miss Raymond to my show. Thank you so much. What grade do you teach?
I teach middle school mathematics, but I also teach coding with grades kindergarten all the way to 5th grade.
And who are these wonderful people with you?
This is Cece.
Hi,
She's in 2nd grade, and this is Max, who's in 5th grade.
Welcome. You guys have similar, a little different uniforms than I did, but you look great. Thanks so much for coming on. And you have to tell me what coding is, because I was very strong in English, vocabulary. Latin was my forte, but math, science, not so much. So I have to, and I do hear coding, and it scares me. So can you alleviate my anxiety?
Shouldn't scare you.
And tell me what you've brought, all this technology. Coding is what?
So basically what coding is, it's a way for students to learn how to function something, how to create a code that makes something work. So for example, like our dot and dashes here.
Dot and dashes, what are they?
Yes, these are our robots where students, where I teach from kindergarten to 5th grade, get to learn how to program a robot. For example, we have 5 different apps. We have the Go app, which is like a personalization app where students get to learn how to change the colors of the robot, make sounds, use speaker to to record their sounds, and they can hear it back. Also, we have our Path app where Dash can learn how to move. We have Xylo where they can make music. We also have Wonder, which is our puzzle app where students can combine different elements and see how the robots will work. And we also have Blockly. CC.
Blockly?
Yes, Blockly.
What's that?
Blockly is what Max is going to demonstrate today, where students get to put together how you're going to make your robot move or launch or turn around. So it's basically the last app of how we combine everything together.
Oh, good. I understood all of that. Wonderful. Max, come on over. All right. Your name is Max, and what grade are you in?
I'm in 5th grade.
Okay. So talk to me about this device, and talk to me about coding, and demonstrate, tell us what you're going to do here.
So I will follow Miss Raymond's instructions. I can move backwards and forwards and to side. He can also dance and change his colors.
Will he make me dinner? No.
I don't think so.
Just asking.
Well, he can. We did a project where he was going to joust, and we made a coat of arms, armor, and we made a jousting stick, and and right now we're working on a Christmas movie.
Oh, fun.
And I'll show you the one that Miss Raymond will tell me what to do.
Excellent.
So,
all right. Miss Raymond's going to tell you. Excellent.
Okay, Max.
So you can change the name or you can just leave it, but his name right now is McQueen. I'll show you the one that I already have programmed.
Wow.
He might come to you to say hi.
Excellent. Very cool. Sounds like he said something.
Yeah, he said hi.
I was doing this cool dance.
Maybe we need music.
Yeah.
Show me. So what are you doing on there?
So you pretty much go into any of these.
Okay.
And you choose what you want it to do. So if I wanted to go not as much forward, I would tap the forward and move that down, or I can change the speed. And we can do the lights, the sounds. He can do a dance, and he can also, there's parts that come with it. He can also launch a launcher, which he loads it up by himself by moving his head, and he'll try and make it into something.
Thank you for showing me that. That's wonderful.
Cece,
what are you up to? Come on over. What grade are you in?
I'm in 2nd grade.
Second. So who's your teacher?
Her name is Mrs. Cooney.
Mrs. Canny. Okay. So what are you going to show us there?
So I'm going to show you how to change the lights. It can go back and forth. And then there's different ways to do this, and I think you can. This goes to something. I don't remember what it goes to.
Cece, what are you trying to do?
But then you could change its
Lights, right?
lights. And
How about you try making a sound, Cece, from it?
Okay.
So what she's doing right now, she's recording her voice into the robot, and the robot's going to talk back to her.
Whoa, that's so cool. Wow. No, so when you talk about Dash and Dot, explain that again to me, Dash?
So Dash is the one that has wheels on the bottom. So that pretty much explains his name, Dash. And Dot doesn't have any wheels or anything, but you can make him talk and have him make sounds and have him change colors. Well, you can change colors on all of these.
Cece, tell me what you like most about St. Mary's School.
Is when you get to have students as your friends and also have a lot of nice specials and the teachers and the students there.
Yeah, it's a great place to go to school. That's great. You're so lucky. You're so blessed. Thank you. So, watch your feet there, Miss Raymond. So, tell me how this is preparing these fine young people for the future.
Well, I mean, it's a great start to start coding now.
Yep.
Just to get them into what coding is, how it works, and what's great too about our school is in the middle school, though we have Dot and Dash, we also have Swift Playground, where kids learn how to code more in a formative way without the robots, but they get to learn how to make different things such as loops, knowing how to loop, knowing how to do algorithms, and knowing how to debug their code and everything like that, which is awesome. And that kind of brings them into, if in high school, if they want to do computer science, they're getting it right in the middle school and the elementary school, and they're learning how to do all these functions.
That's great. Well, you know, it's so wonderful that St. Mary's prepares our students in so many different ways, but I think it's important for folks to know that they're on the cutting edge of technology and STEM. And STEM is, do you want to talk about STEM?
STEM involves science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yep.
And it is a huge thing nowadays. And especially for me, I know I wanted to be a math teacher, and that's why I wanted to pursue it, because I knew it was important. I do enjoy what STEM has to offer, and I think it's a bright light for kids who are very interested in it to do it as a career one day.
That's great. Well, Cece, Max, Miss Raymond, thank you for coming on and talking to us and sharing with us all this good stuff, exciting stuff. Good luck with school, and send my best to St. Mary's, and I hope you'll come back. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the celebration of St. Mary's 60 years in Simsbury. Did you know that St. Mary's has been in Simsbury 60 years? Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Madam, thank you so much. We're continuing our conversation. St. Mary's at 60 years old. Incredible history here in our community, and still a wonderful opportunity for folks to find out more about St. Mary's and why they would want to send their children there. I'm a product of St. Mary's. I loved it. So many great things happening there. I'm thrilled to have two more teachers from St. Mary's. We have Mrs. Phillips and Mrs. Gore. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Being here, and you're an alumni.
Yes.
Which is wonderful to have an alumni back at St. Mary's teaching. That must be so cool.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun.
How long have you been back?
I've been back 2 years. I teach third grade.
Third grade.
So it is a lot of fun to be back.
And Mrs. Gore?
I teach 5th grade.
Wonderful. And who is the special guest we have here today?
Hi, I'm Isabel Pavlonis. I'm in 8th grade.
Welcome. So nice to meet you. Have
Nice
you
to
been
meet
at St. Mary's since the beginning of time?
I've been at St. Mary's since 3rd grade.
Since 3rd grade, okay. And how's your experience been?
Incredible.
Yeah? Why is that?
Just everything, learning the faith, like finding friendships, the academics, everything.
Yeah, faith, friendships, the academics, art and athletics, and the relationships that you build are so important. Talk about the curriculum at St. Mary's now. Ms. Phillips, you had the perspective of being there when a little after me, but you know how St. Mary's has really evolved, huh?
It's absolutely evolved in great ways.
Great ways, yeah.
The biggest, clearly the technology that Margie had mentioned.
Yeah.
Everything, most of my curriculum is all taught on my iPad. So there's not even a lot of paper in the classrooms. I go through all the teaching through the iPad, different apps. Different publishers have different websites, and that's how the children learn. That's the biggest change that I've seen since I left.
Yeah, and I see it with my nieces and nephews, and of course there's a balance. I know I see it with my sister and her kids that, you know, sometimes she says, okay, technology is off. And that's my question to you too. Is there a balance of, you know, the technology, which is great, but I think it's important to know still that St. Mary's has those great liberal arts.
Oh yes, we still teach handwriting.
Yes, teach handwriting.
Yes, that's our biggest.
Literature was talked about earlier, and so you really have a diverse, vibrant academic curriculum, right?
Although technology is so important, and we really like to make that a benchmark of our school, is the wonderful technology that we do have. But I think we also pride ourselves on the fact that in addition to the technology, we look at the whole child. We try to teach the whole child their mind, their soul, and their spirit. We think that infusing faith and our love for teaching as teachers into the students, that we really bring the whole child out with all of the academics that we do have through literature, through social studies, and science. You know, in science, we can show the children, yes, these are the scientific methods and these are things that are happening in science, but, you know, through it all, we know that our faith has brought us to this science. Look at this beautiful day that we have in the green leaves and the sun, and these are all gifts that we have from God as well. So we are able to infuse and integrate all of that into our curriculum, also enhancing our technology.
What's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is math.
Is math. Excellent. So what do you think you're going to do in the future?
Probably either be a mathematician or go the other way and be a lawyer. Haven't decided yet.
Do both. Excellent. So have you had both Mrs. Gore and Mrs. Phillips?
I had Mrs. Gore, but not Mrs. Phillips.
They're both the best. I heard directly from my niece and nephew.
Yes.
So it's fact that they are some of the best teachers at St. Mary's still, and I had some of the best teachers at St. Mary's. So it's so nice to see that continuity, and I know how much you care for the whole student. And my sister often mentions that she, you know, would not have that. The public schools are great, but she feels that her children, their whole mind, body, and spirit and soul are looked after, and she's never worried about her children. And it's such a joyful place, and you must find that too. Just a real sense of community and values and faith.
Very much so.
Yeah. And do you still do First Friday Masses?
We do Mass once a month, be it a First Friday, unless there is a holy day in that particular month. We will go to Mass on the holy day instead of the First Friday of the month, but we do have Mass once a month.
And we are filming on Holy Day.
Yes.
And I still have time to get to Mass. Yeah. Did you have services today?
Yes, we did.
Excellent. And talk to me about more about the technology. We talked earlier about Talcott Mountain. Have you been up to the Science Center?
Yes,
yourself?
I used to go to Talcott Mountain when I was younger.
You were? Okay.
Before St. Mary's. So I had connections with Talcott before I came to St. Mary's. And when I got to middle school, I've had them for science. We'll do 6-week blocks of learning different science courses. And we'll have different teachers. We'll rotate teachers through each 6-week block. So we're able to experience a lot of different types of science and help us figure out which one we're most interested in.
Now tell me, today was Friday, a typical day at St. Mary's. So tell me what your day was, each class, and do you have a homeroom? Is it still a homeroom system? You have started a homeroom?
Yes, we have homeroom in the morning.
Okay, and then what?
So It depends on the day, but on Fridays we have, as 8th graders, gym class first period.
Okay.
Then a double period of math, then religion, literature, lunch, language arts, art, and history.
Wow, that's a full day.
Yes.
What'd you learn in history today?
We were doing presentations about the Industrial Revolution.
Oh, nice. Nice. How about religion?
Religion, we're learning about the early church and its developments. We're currently learning about the Protestant Reformation.
So you're learning about other religions too? And
yes.
Excellent.
How they're all connected.
Oh, that's wonderful. So Mrs. Phillips and Mrs. Gore, what's the rest of the school year look like for you, curriculum-wise?
Curriculum-wise, we are very, very busy. We have a lot of teaching going on, but the biggest thing that we have going on right now in the school is we are currently working on our 10-year accreditation. Every 10 years, the schools within the Archdiocese of Hartford are working on an accreditation. So we are within our self-study right now, which is a very exciting time for us, where we are looking at what we do and how well we do it. And although we're finding that we do so many things so well, there's always room for improvement.
That's great. Yeah, of course.
And through this self-study, we have really marked some things that we can improve on, and we have already begun to implement some of these different, just small things within our curriculum, how we can do them better. We'll do this. Well, why don't we do it this way instead? And in the implementation of this, we continue to grow as a school, we continue to grow as a community, and it's a very exciting time for us.
Isabel, I want you to have the last word. What's the best thing about St. Mary's School? Why would somebody want to come to St. Mary's School?
The community at St. Mary's is amazing. The academics and all that is definitely a huge part, but the community and the way the whole school is able to interact truly makes St. Mary's what it is.
Nice. Well, thank you all so much
for
being here, and give my regards to St. Mary's and what's his name? Ted?
Yes, Sir Ted.
Sir Ted. And thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much for having us.
Great to see you guys. Happy anniversary. So excited to have Mrs. Williamson back, and she has brought some of St. Mary's finest here to join us here on the show. Why don't you introduce us to our guests,
Okay,
please?
well, we have Carter Phillips here, the president of our student council.
Nice to meet you.
And Siobhan Russian, she's also an officer of our student council.
Excellent.
Which office is yours? Secretary, right.
Okay, great. And you're president?
Yes.
Mr. President. How many terms?
1 term.
1 term, okay. So, I learned a lot about leadership and service at St. Mary's. And is that tradition still alive and well at St. Mary's?
Yes, recently we had a senior luncheon, and basically what that is we take seniors from around our community and we bring them in and make sure they have an enjoyable lunch.
Wonderful. Have you been at St. Mary's since the beginning? Since
5th grade.
Since 5th grade. How about you?
Kindergarten.
Since kindergarten. Wow. That's so nice. All the way through, you've got such a rich history there. Do you have siblings in school?
Yes, I have a sibling in 5th grade and 4th grade.
It's nice to have siblings with you, most part.
Yeah.
Because I had 6 in my family. It's like, there's always somebody to tell on you, what you're doing right or wrong. But it is nice to have your family part of the school and involved. What grades are your siblings?
2nd, 4th, and 6th.
Okay, I think one is in school with my niece, Zia. Okay, yeah. And your siblings?
5th and 4th.
5th and 4th. Okay, excellent. So talk to me about some of the other leadership initiatives at St. Mary's, some of the community service that you're doing and outreach.
We're doing a drive for soldiers.
Wonderful. For veterans?
Yeah, for veterans.
Okay. Is that for clothing or money?
We bring in canned goods, and then we get to wear red clothing.
Okay. Excellent. And talk to me about your role on the student council.
I'm secretary, so I take notes and contribute my ideas to student council.
Okay.
And one of the things we did was something called pumpkin bingo, and I would go around and help the little kids because they didn't know how to play bingo.
Nice. So some mentoring going on. and you feel like you might play what kind of leadership role in the future after St. Mary's? You know, what do you think your plans are?
Well, I hope to take the things that I've learned at this school, such as leadership and good communication skills, and carry that on to my next school.
That's great. What do you think? Are you going to be a lawyer or doctor? Or?
Yeah, I really like sports, so
sports.
Yeah.
St. Mary's has a great athletic program too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you play a particular sport?
Basketball and football.
Okay.
I play basketball.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, it's so amazing to see the athletic program evolve over the years since I was there. That's another great part of St. Mary's. And what's the best part of, as you get ready to leave St. Mary's? You must be mixed emotions and look forward to high school. You said maybe Northwest Catholic. And what's the best part of St. Mary's?
I like how kindergarten through 8th grade is all there, and we can all interact with each other, and we're all like one big happy family.
Yeah, it's very nice. You know, it's funny, my sister went through, just the way it ended up, she went 1st through 8th, and I only went 7th and 8th at St. Mary's. So while I loved it and had a great experience, it was really wonderful for my sister to have that whole continuum and build those friendships and the strengths of those friendships that have lasted a lifetime.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about your buddy program with the pre-kindergarten, because that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Every Monday, the first thing in the morning, there's 2 or 3 8th graders assigned to each preschooler, and we help them learn by doing activities such as coloring and like puzzles.
Oh, nice. Now, we talked earlier in the show, all the science and technology. Is, I'm a liberal arts person, English major, and is that still an important part of St. Mary's, the literature and history? Talk to us about that.
Yes, I'm in honors literature.
Okay.
And right now we just finished reading The Landlady.
Okay.
So what we did is we analyzed the reading, and then we had a group discussion about it.
Oh, nice.
And Monday we're starting To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, one of my favorites. Oh, that's great.
And you're learning a lot about writing as well in your language arts program, too. So they're writing long essays. They learn how to write different kinds of essays. So
it's so important.
Skill.
It is a wonderful skill and something that I honed at St. Mary's and then onward to Northwest. That is an important part of the core of St. Mary's is written communications, oral communications, and that is going to prepare you so well for your bright futures. Now, what do you think you're going to do after you graduate from Harvard? I'm just throwing that out. Not too much pressure. Or wherever you go.
I want to become a writer.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. What kind of writer?
Like an author.
A novelist? Wonderful. And do you do journals? Do you keep a journal?
Yeah. Well, we do journals in school, and we write about all the books that we've read, and we analyze and answer questions about the short stories we read.
And how about the arts program at St. Mary's? If you were going to be a painter or something like that, or how is that fostered?
Well, currently the art teacher is a professional artist.
Wonderful.
So she gives of her time to teach the children. And the work that she does to help prepare for our annual art show and art sale is to help the children learn and model after famous artists, some of the famous paintings. So they learn lots about technique, and they learn about art history as well.
Wonderful.
And then, of course, they have vocal music, and you've been learning your Christmas music for lessons and carols.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that performance.
Many, many good things. And then we have band as well. And Siobhan, you're in the band. You're not in the band, right?
We have a concert on Monday.
Yes,
band concert. So
excellent.
Lots of things going on in the arts.
And what about the global world? Do you get to talk? Are you aware through your education at St. Mary's about what's going on in the country and in the world, and world politics, national politics? Are you engaged in conversations about? It's easy to be kind of focus on our own town sometimes and what's just right in front of us. But do you talk a lot about what's going on in the world and how to?
In history, we talk a lot about the events that are happening around us and our past United States.
Sure, because as they say, past is prologue. So as you really study history, it prepares you for the future. And that's great. So, what's your favorite class been in your years at St. Mary's?
I like literature in LA because I really like writing.
Language arts.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you?
Literature and history.
Yeah. Do you have language courses there?
Yeah, we have Spanish.
Spanish.
Take Spanish.
Wow. What else? Do you have Latin?
No, they just have Spanish currently.
Oh my gosh! All right, you got to bring back the Latin, Mrs. Williamson. Get back on that. So it sounds like you've had a wonderful education at St. Mary's,
and they also have a very active science program too. So, because Talcott Mountain Science Center.
Yes, talk about that. Really, you have a great relationship with Talcott Mountain.
Yes. So we have teachers from there, and they come and
Mr. Polino, right?
Yes, Mr.
Who's a
Polino.
graduate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they come and teach us. And right now we are learning about biology and the human body.
Wonderful. And are you learning about astronomy from Talcott Mountain?
Yes.
They have great astronomy there. It's such an amazing place. It was just getting started when I was a kid. So, do they come here to St. Mary's, or you go there? But both?
Yeah, they come here, and we have 2 different teachers, and they switch off. Like the first teacher will have six weeks of a certain science, then the next teacher will switch for another 6 weeks of a certain science.
Oh, great.
Right now we're learning anatomy and physiology.
Excellent. So you're not going to be a doctor. You don't know. Maybe you're going to be a famous athlete. Yeah. Okay. You got time. That's wonderful. What else do you want to tell us about St. Mary's?
Well, this year we started our required service project in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So each of the children has a certain number of hours they have to put in for service. So
great.
I don't know if either of you could speak to any of the service you've done so far, or what your plans are.
Yeah, we have to do 5 hours of service each trimester, and there's 3 categories: parish, community, and school, and we have to fulfill at least 2 of them in our 5 hours.
How will you do that?
I've already done it by helping out in the school library and helping out my sister's basketball practice.
Great. How about you?
For our 60th anniversary, we had a mass, and I attended that mass and helped.
I was there.
Read. Yeah.
Nice job. That's great. Well, it's so important that St. Mary's still encourages public service and community service. That's wonderful. Well, we're just so thrilled to have you on the show, and I wish you all the best rest of the school year and in your future, and I know we'll be hearing great things, and thank you, Mrs. Williamson, for bringing these fine students on. Great to see you. Merry Christmas. We'll see you soon again. Thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I am thrilled to continue this celebration of St. Mary's School in Simsbury, now in its 60th year. And I am a proud member of the class of 80, and I'm so delighted to have with me some more special guests today. My friend Paul Melanson, Chief of Police in the town of Farmington, proud graduate, distinguished alum, and a parent, correct?
Yes.
Welcome to the show. The Melanson family is legendary in town, legendary in St. Mary's. So thrilled to see you and your great friend, Sarah Mutarelli, who's the president of the is it board of directors or trustees?
School board.
School board. Claude Howard, welcome. You're on the board.
Yeah, I'm on the board as well.
And you, I've known a long time. Mary Beth Mortellero, who is staff. Your staff, faculty, parent. Or past parent now? Are we past parent?
Past parent now.
Okay.
5 times.
5 times. Oh, my gosh.
All good.
Guys, thanks for coming. You are the heart and soul of St. Mary's, and I know you, definitely on the alumni side, Paul, you and I share what a great experience St. Mary's was and how well it prepared us for our lives. Certainly I as a legislator, and you, both of us in public service, interestingly enough, you on the front lines as a public safety. Talk about your experience as an alum and now as a parent and the continuum of the excellence.
So I think probably the greatest thing that you get out of it, now obviously education is important, and it gives you a premier education, but also the character that it develops during those formative years, right? Kindergarten through 8th grade is, I think, so vitally important, and I think that it develops just such great character. I don't know of another school that you can go to where Every teacher knows every student's name. They know every parent's name. I'm not sure where else you get that.
Sure.
So, as I think it has obviously served me and my 8 brothers and sisters so well in our lives.
Yeah.
And I think, my 4 kids all attended St. Mary's. And
are they gone now?
And well, I have one left in 7th grade. So all the rest have moved up, and so it's been really just so beneficial. My wife and I speak about it all the time. Just the character, but also preparation for high school. And I have one in college who's doing very well. And obviously that foundation was built at St. Mary's, and there is no doubt about that.
Yeah, you and I share that, and so many alumni, and it was great to see you at the 60th anniversary celebration. I think it was back in April, all of us together, and we have a common bond and see each other, and how are you doing, and saying we're praying for each other, and all the different ups and downs of our lives. We've been together, and it all goes back to St. Mary's.
Yes.
And Sarah, you're newer to the school.
Yes.
But you're already board president. Didn't take you long.
Apparently, when you have just such a charming personality, people take notice.
And talent and leadership skills.
Yes, and I as well come from a very large family. I'm one of 7.
One of 7 too?
Yes, I'm number 7. So for my family, when we moved to town, that was really important to me for being 12 years Catholic school myself, to find some place that could have and help me set the moral compass for my children.
And you think your children are getting really well prepared for the world
Yes, I do. I mean, because it is such a small community, as Paul said, we know so many children who have graduated, and I could speak here for these, and those kids are thriving in high school and thriving in college. So I feel very confident that my children are getting the education at the very value priced.
Yeah, excellent value. Mr. Howard, you're on the board as well.
I'm actually going into my 6th year on the board, believe it or not. So,
and you're a parent?
A parent. My kids have all graduated, so I had 3 come through St. Mary's. Similar to what Sarah was talking about when we relocated here, it was real important for us to find 2 things: the right gymnastics center and the right school for our children that taught Catholic faith.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine, Tim Sullivan, when I first moved out here, Tim said, you have to look at St. Mary's.
Sure.
And we did, and met with the principal, Marie Gennady, at the time, and she talked directly to our kids, and that spoke to us. And so being a part of that St. Mary's family and relocating, it was just tremendous, and it's been great. 3 kids have graduated, done very well at Avon High School now. It's been awesome.
No, it's funny, back when we were in school, it was mostly Simsbury students, but you have a lot of students from differing towns now, right?
That's what's really neat.
Many towns.
So give me some towns that you're...
Oh, Burlington, Windsor. We have a few families from Southwick, Mass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Simsbury, Avon, Canton,
Granby. Yep.
What's neat about it is really, truly a regional school for Farmington Valley.
Right.
And diversity.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
And you do it all. And usually I've seen you at Eno Hall with the students. Are they still doing?
We do Eno on Wednesdays.
With those senior lunches, which is great.
It has been a wonderful, wonderful experience for everyone.
Sure.
We do 7th and 8th grade. They serve lunch, help clear, do the dishes, and get to socialize with the seniors.
It's so nice.
So it is nice because then the seniors recognize them or see them at church.
Yeah.
So it's a nice connection. They come to our senior luncheon, and they they come to our lessons and carols.
Oh, great.
It's a very, very nice 2-way relationship.
And you still do the annual, is it the Thanksgiving luncheon?
Senior luncheon.
The senior luncheon. Wow. That's incredible.
The week before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
For 200, usually. And the 8th grade does that. They serve it. So actually our Eno volunteering has really helped so that when they come to 8th grade, they own that day. That is their day to shine, and they do shine. They serve. They sit with the seniors when we have enough chairs, when there's enough room. But they really do. They greet them at the door. They walk them back out afterwards. It's just a very nice. It's one of the nicest days at our school, I would say.
It's so nice to see that service is such an important part of St. Mary's, giving back, and faith-based education. is so important. And it's so great to see a Catholic school thriving now. And so many are struggling, but it seems like St. Mary's is doing well, and so many. You got some exciting plans for the campus connection, which is really exciting. And you work in the library.
I do.
What's the St. Mary's Library like now? Because when Paul and we had 3 books. With the Melancons and the Hamptons, we would circulate the encyclopedias. What's the library like now?
We have more books than bookcases. We are very fortunate to have many generous families and parents that are happy to give us their books when they're done with them, but we also purchase new books each year. It's exciting because the kids are excited to read, and they will tell me, can we get this book? Can we get this book? Do we have this book in the library? So we're able to do that. And being a teacher, I like to be able to do a little bit more with our stories, and it's really fun to really stretch our stories and get some really good lessons out of them.
But with Campus Connection, though, you can have even more space.
I'm going to even have Father Matera next to me.
I mean, right? With Campus Connection.
So with Campus Connection and what they're doing with all of that, increased library space, music space, and art room.
It's going to be beautiful.
We're so excited about that coming through.
I bet people can go to the website and donate to that, correct? Because you're going to lead an annual campaign and raise money for that.
So. And that's through the church.
Okay. Right. We as alumni have to step up, and the community can step up. And but Paul, it's still the same place, but even better, you think, in seeing it even just ramping up to new heights, it sounds like.
I mean, I don't think it can get better, right? Because it's kept its core principles of the faith and the development
of the whole person.
Of the whole person, yet it's advanced, and as they were talking about before, my kids now have iPads. Everything's done on the iPad, and so it's one of those things where they've kept the traditional and the faith and the really character development and those sorts of things. Yet on the academic side, they've really pushed and advanced, and so and you're talking about the connection and the library and really growing, and that's really exciting. And I think you and we had to walk outside to get from one building to another.
In bare feet.
Uphill both ways.
Miles.
Uphill both
Walked
ways.
home in snow up to here for lunch. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it is constantly growing, and it's just exciting to watch. And so, now it's just really exciting. And now my niece's kids are there, and so...
You got 3 generations there.
Yes. And it just keeps going and going. So it's very exciting to watch.
That's great. Mary Beth, how would you sum up St. Mary's in a word or 2 or 3? And how would you?
It covers all bases.
Covers all bases.
It has given my kids faith.
Yep.
And the comfort to live their faith out loud. It's given them great academics where they can go to the next level confidently and seamlessly, really. Emotionally, I think it's given them, one of my favorite things about St. Mary's is that it gave them such great self-confidence. Because it's a small school and people reach out to you, and they'll also give you the confidence, you can do this. Can you do this for me? I know you'll be great at it. I would say by the time you're done at St. Mary's, you've become a public speaker. Because you have so many opportunities to read at church, to do Mass. There's just so many opportunities for them to grow their confidence, to really become comfortable doing things. I just think that stretches on and on. You said that, you guys meet and you say, hey, we're praying for you. So when you talk about our faith, I think today, to be able to say to someone, I'll say a prayer for you. That's great to be able to say that out loud and really be comfortable about that.
Yeah, live it out loud.
And they really do. I think that's what St. Mary's really does for them.
Yeah, and I think you notice the way St. Mary's students and alum comport themselves and communicate and interact with each other. With manners and treat each other with dignity and respect. I think that is worth the price of admission right there. What are some of the alumni doing now? Some of the they're going on maybe in Northwest, Westminster, Simsbury High.
Lots of good schools.
Lots of good
Lots
schools.
and lots of good schools.
And colleges from there, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good careers and diverse. You're seeing some great success stories out there.
And the great news
Other than Paul and I.
Oh, no. The great news is they're successful both in academics and in sports.
Yes.
Yep.
As I think about sports, the beautiful thing about it is they bring their whole selves, their faith in sports at St. Mary's. So you think about that, they play with another team before they actually play the game.
Yep.
Right.
It's about sportsmanship.
Right.
And then my son, who actually just made the Avon High School basketball team with Jack Hall, another St. Mary's alum, they are going to bring their spiritual self to that court, even though it's public school.
Right.
And they learn that at St. Mary's.
That's right. That's right.
Now, so you're going to have some public open houses coming up?
We do. We have we've actually changed our format a little bit, and in January, on January 28th, which is a Sunday, we're offering the open house in the afternoon, extending it to all families, which is great. So not only can you tour the school and walk around with your family and your kids to see, but we're also going to have some breakout sessions with cursive writing and coding as well. So it'll be great, and it's going to be very family friendly.
Excellent. I've learned a lot about coding today.
We all have.
It's kind of the key word.
We all have.
I'm not sure I
There'll be a test after, so we'll see.
You may have to help me with that. But yeah, it's incredible to look back on, especially Paul, with you and our families, and to see the incredible rich history in your family, and to see the proud traditions continue. You really are great leaders and great representatives of the school, and we appreciate all that you do to take care of our alma mater and continue the proud tradition.
We have a pledge that we say every day.
Yes,
You do?
there's a student
Max
pledge.
I was going to say,
Max, come up and say it for us.
As a student of St. Mary's School, I promise to live my life knowing that God surrounds me and all those I meet. I would like to be respect as others, and treat everyone kindly and the way I want to be treated. And I will help those in need. And I will continue to learn all my life.
Right.
Oh, that's wonderful. I can't think of a better way to end on that note. Thank you, Max, so much. And thank you to all my friends from St. Mary's and Mrs. Williamson, the board members, faculty, staff, alumni. Paul, it's great to be with you, and the incredible students and teachers, and for folks at home. Really, I hope you have no doubt about sending your kids to St. Mary's, to enrolling in St. Mary's, investing in a bright future. And those in the community who are not necessarily associated with St. Mary's, you can support it by individual giving and taking in part of all their community programs. And we are so grateful to have St. Mary's right here in Simsbury. And I am proud to call myself an SMS Knight. So thank you all. I am St. Mary Strong. Thanks a million for being here. God bless.
Thank you, John.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you
We'll
as
see
well.
you again. All the best. Well, this has been a very special episode of Office Hours with State Representative John Hampton. And by the way, we start every legislative session with a prayer. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
So that continues every day.
That's fabulous.
And as my late mother said, you live your life as a prayer.
That's right.
And that's really what St. Mary's taught us and my mother taught us. So thank you all so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.